Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting will now come to order. Comrades, please stand. Those that cannot, remain seated. I'll now call upon Paul Villeneuve to sing our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, car ton bras et porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Pipes and drums, dismissed.
Before we proceed with the consideration of the business which has brought us together, let us pause to think reverently of those of our comrades who by sea, by land, and in the air laid down their lives for their sovereign and country. Their sacrifice will ever inspire us to labor on to the end that those who survive and need aid may be assured of assistance, and that the country in which we live and for which they died may ever be worthy of the sacrifice they made. During the silence, we'll remember our fallen comrades and those who have passed on, and our thoughts and prayers go out to our men and women serving in Afghanistan and throughout the world. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. Please be seated. I'll now call upon our World War II Merchant Navy, Korean, Vietnam, Afghanistan, peacekeeping forces, all present and retired members of the military forces, all present and past members of the RCMP and municipal police, to please stand and be recognized. I'll now introduce Comrade George Adair, Vice President of the Royal Canadian Legion, Dominion Command, and representing both Dominion and Provincial Command of the Royal Canadian Legion.
This is the part of the show where I'm supposed to make you feel happy and get up and do a little dance. It won't actually work that way. The Comrade President, Mr. Minister, Honorable Mr. LaRue, Nick Lemieux, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. We all agree that Canada continues to owe a debt to all of those who served in uniform, and that our veterans deserve the very best treatment that Canada can offer. The Legion continues to advocate for that treatment. Whenever a new Minister of Veterans Affairs is appointed, the Legion sometimes cringes, because we never know if the new person will be up to the job. We needn't have worried about Minister Blackburn. He learned very quickly, and he successfully faced the many challenges that he inherited. The Legion supported the introduction of the new Veterans Charter because it was sold as a living document. A document that would be corrected as obstacles and inequities were discovered. Well, I have to say there was not a lot of life to the Charter before Minister Blackburn came along. He's addressed many of the new Veterans Charter failings, and he's proposed solutions to those failings, and I'm certain he's positively considering the many other issues that we brought to his attention, along with his many other challenges, including recent reports of illnesses from depleted uranium. The Minister has been very responsive to new ideas, and we certainly applaud his quick reaction to our Ontario Command program titled Leave the Streets Behind. The partnership, and it's a new partnership between Veterans Affairs and Ontario Command, is already a success in getting veterans off the streets, and it's only just begun. We're finding them, we're getting them off the streets. Minister, I had the privilege of speaking to you last June in Winnipeg at the Legion Committee Convention when you promised substantial legislation to improve the benefits and care of our veterans affected by the new Veterans Charter. We also spoke in October in Stratford at the Anavets Community Convention when you announced great improvements to the Charter. We discussed veterans' issues again in October in Ottawa on the occasion when Minister Flaherty announced that the Legion would be exempted from HST as it relates to the purchase of poppy supplies. We know there are more changes to the new Veterans Charter to come. However, we anxiously await passage of all of this important current legislation, which will substantially assist our veterans. We especially hope the C-55 won't be stalled by an election. And I'm kind of hopeful tonight, Mr. Minister, that you can give us an indication of when we can expect your legislation, your important legislation, to become law. So, Minister, welcome to Glengarry. It's nice to see you again. And thank you for taking the time from your hectic schedule on this terrible night to visit us in Alexandria at Colonel MacDonald Memorial Branch 423. I'm certain that your message will be informative and it will be well received as usual.
I felt the pressure of having George here, and I missed introducing some of the people. The Honourable Jean-Pierre Blackburn, Minister of Veterans Affairs, Minister of State, Mr. Pierre Lemieux, Member of Parliament for Glengarry, Prescott and Russell, Deputy Mayor Chris McDonnell, and council members for North Glengarry, Mayor Jim McDonnell from South Glengarry. I will now call upon our Member of Parliament, Pierre Lemieux, to introduce our special guest.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for being here tonight. As a retired member of the Canadian Armed Forces with 20 years of service, I hold our veterans in the highest regard. And every year, I have the privilege of attending Remembrance Day ceremonies all across our riding with the veterans right here from the Alexandria Legion. And I cherish the opportunity to honor our fallen soldiers and to show my support for our men and women who have served our country or who are serving our country with loyalty and courage. And this includes many of you here today. So I'd now like to introduce our special guest, Veteran Affairs Minister Jean-Pierre Blackburn. He has been a true champion for vets, and he has made important changes over the years to ensure that vets are better served. And in fact, his presence here tonight shows his commitment to veterans. As you know, there's a storm blowing outside. I mentioned this morning to the Minister, there's a storm. He says, I'm going anyway. He was invited today with 10 of his colleagues to join the Prime Minister for dinner. He declined. He said, I'm coming to Alexandria tonight, and here he is tonight. So, Minister, I appreciate your dedication, and the people in this room appreciate your dedication. L'honorable Jean-Pierre Blackburn, ministre des Anciens Combattants, ministre d'État, Agriculture, est en tournée au pays depuis le début de la nouvelle année pour discuter avec les anciens combattants et les vétérans canadiens ainsi que des membres des forces canadiennes au sujet d'enjeux qui sont importants pour eux. And today I'm very happy to host him here in the community of Alexandria. Minister Blackburn was first elected to the House of Commons in 1984 and re-elected in 1988, 2006, and 2008. He is a strong advocate for veterans' issues, and he is an excellent listener. He quickly has grasped the many ways to improve the services and benefits offered to our veterans. He is the first to admit that he did not anticipate the kinds of challenges that he and his department have had to face over this past year. But he will also be the first to tell you that he is determined to meet those challenges head-on. Minister, thank you once again for being here. Please join me in welcoming Minister Blackburn.
Okay. Thanks very much. You know, when I look for my binder like I am now, sorry for my English, that's perfect, but I'll try to do the best. I just want to let you tell you a story about. I was in Netherlands, and my assistant had my binder like that, and I was in a place where there were close to maybe 100,000 people over there. And we were in the middle of many streets where all are arriving together. So my assistant said, Minister, I will keep your binder, and when it will be time, I will give it to you. So arrived the moment for my speech, and the mayor invited me to pronounce my speech, and my assistant was at the back of me, maybe 50 or 75 feet from me. So I look, and I don't see her. And you know, and I'm waiting. And I turn again, I don't see her. And I heard a noise at my right, at the back. So I look, and this lady went to see the gentleman to ask him when the minister has to pronounce his speech. And the guy said, right now. So she turned, and there were chairs, and she fell on the street, knees, you know, all. She fell, and she lost her shoes when she fell down. And you could imagine, you know, she just stood up, and she went quickly where she was at the beginning, because the speech was there, and she delivered that to me. And I remember looking at her and said, and her name was Cody. And I said, Cody, did you hurt yourself? And she didn't say a word. I saw in her eyes, Minister, I just want to disappear. And we teased her because there were many journalists there, and she thought she will be on the news at night, but it didn't happen. So, Pierre, thanks for your invitation, and it showed to me that you're very close to our veterans, and it honors you to do that, to invite me to talk with you and to explain what's going on. Also, Vutus,